Okay, we're in the first book of the captivity. Right. As we went, if you go into this lesson, the northern tribe were taken out of captivity. Right. So they're in captivity. So you only have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and the stragglers of the northern tribes that stayed with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which was few, but it were some. That you're looking at when you read the Bible in the Old Testament, that's going into captivity under the Babylonians, right? And then the Persian Medes that we just read about in Hosea and so forth, and Ezra, with Cyrus, and Esther and so forth, all the way to Malachi, they were in power, had us in captivity. Then, as we read in here, who took down the Persian and Mede Empire? Mind you, all these times, these superpowers of the earth, we in captivity under them, just like we in captivity here in America and all these nations across the world. So here we are in the first book of the Maccabees. Listen what it says. And it happened after that. Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. You see? It's the first over Greece. So I looked up the word Greece in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. It says Greece. It says Grecia. Grecians. It says Grecia is Greece, the home of the Hellenes. See, Greeks and Grecians, however, are to be distinguished. Greeks are generally those of Hellenic race, right? It says Grecians were Greek-speaking Jews. Hear that? Grecians were Greek-speaking Jews, folk of the dispersion from areas predominantly Greek. Okay, so in Hellenists is Jews who made Greek their language, their tongue, and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices and customs to become Hellenists. So if you're going to be doing all the things that they've done, if they're Gentiles, you're going to tell me you ain't acting like a Gentile? Listen. So we're going to go into it. Let's jump up to verse 9. This in the Greek Empire. We're not in the Persian Empire, Mede Empire no more. We're in the Greek Empire. Verse 9, look what it said. And after his death, this Alexander, the Greek death, they all put crowns upon themselves. He set up his 4 generals to be in charge of his kingdom, so that their sons after them many years. And evils, hear this, and evils, not righteousness, but it said, and evils were multiplied in the earth. You see? Evils multiplied in the earth. This is the Greek Empire, the first so-called white man's empire. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Okay? The kingdom of the Greeks. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men. Check this out. Wicked men came out of our nation, Israel, who persuaded many, saying, listen, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. Hear that? Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. When the Most High told us in Jeremiah 10:2, learn not the way of the heathen. But what they say? Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. These Edomites and all the other nations that's round about us. Because Edomites in charge, because that's be from Alexander's reign. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so froward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Come on. That's not becoming Gentile. They went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. What they do? Wherefore they built a place of exercise. This ain't what we did. Wherefore they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. See that? Come on now. That's what we did. Jeremiah 9:25. That's what we did. So when y'all be going up to them gyms and so forth, that's the custom of the heathen. Most I said, learn not to wear the heathen. That's the custom of the heathen. Jeremiah 9:25. Behold, the days come, said the Most High, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. Hear that? So he's going to punish them that are, which are circumcised. That's us knowing this truth, being an Israelite, with the uncircumcised. You know, man, gonna get y'all. Too many scriptures that show you that the Most High separated us from everyone. 2 Maccabees 4:15. They made gymnasiums to be like the heathen. Look. 2 Maccabees 4:15. Let's see, let's look at 14. That the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar, but despising the temple, and neglecting the sacrifices. This in the Greek Empire. Hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise. When we built gyms and so forth, here go you after the game of discus. Call them forth. Hear that? Throwing that disc. Call them forth. Listen. Verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their fathers. See? We neglected the honor of our culture, being Israelites, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. Come on, man. They like the custom of the Grecians better than honoring the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them. You hear that? But they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they follow so earnestly. You want to be like the heathen. You mean to tell me that ain't being like a Gentile? That's not being a Gentile right here? By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them. They like the glory of the Grecians best of all. By reason whereof sore calamities came upon them. But they had them to be their, what? Friend, enemies, and avengers, whose custom they follow so earnestly, and unto whom they desire to be like in all things. Come on. You mean to tell me that ain't being like a Gentile? Talk to me. But it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of the Most High. For it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of the Most High. But the time following shall declare these things. That's enough of that. Going back to First Maccabees. Verse 14. 1 and 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. Hear that? And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant. Now you look at this uncircumcised. You circumcise yourself on the 8th day. Your flesh, your scrotum. It ain't talking about that. It's talking about they went away from the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments. That's why when you read in the New Testament, you see the circumcised and the uncircumcised. Those that are not, they would call them the ones that, roll with MASHAYACH,